11.6% preliminary voters turned out for St. and Northeast by-election, EOJ stated. The preliminary counting of ballots for the St. and Northeastern by-election indicates an estimated voter turnout of 11.6%, the Electorate Office of Jamaica EOJ has announced. Matissa Mudo of the Jamaica Labour Party claimed 4,838 votes to win the seat easily, according to the preliminary results. He beat independent candidate David Fritz Anderson, who got 222 votes, and Chase Neal of the United Independent Congress, who received 30 votes. The main opposition People's National Party did not contest the by-election. The EOJ said the returning officer will commence the final counting of the ballot on Tuesday, October 1, at a designated counting center. Child rescued after being washed away by river in St. Mary. Following an incident on Sunday where a child was rescued after being washed away by a river, Member of Parliament for St. Mary Southeastern Dr. Norman Dunn is appealing to parents and guardians to be more active. The child was reportedly left unsupervised by family members during an outing at the Wagwater River in Castleton. While at the river, the child was swept away downstream, and had it not been for a resident who spotted the child floating, we could have very well have an incident of drowning in St. Mary. I am appealing to parents, guardians, and family members to be aware of the river surrounding, not just in St. Mary but elsewhere, Dunn told reporters. Additionally, they are to ensure that children are monitored and properly supervised during every river trip. A child can only be a child, and once water is involved, it is only natural that they will be inclined to explore. My understanding also is that the child involved in the incident suffered injuries to the mouth and to the section of her head. Thankfully, the toddler is alive, Duncan added. The incident came on the heels of 2 cases of drowning involving 19-year-old Kristen Steele and 25-year-old Omar Skyers, who were swept away by the Wagwater River on September 12. The bodies of Kristen and Omar Skyers have since been recovered. Police constable charged with murder in Trelawney gets $900,000 bail. A policeman has been charged for the shooting death of a man during an altercation in Falmouth, Trelawney last November. Police Constable Junior Howlett was taken before the Trelawney Parish Court on Friday, where he was granted bail of $900,000 with 1 to 2 sureties. Reporting conditions were also imposed. Junior is scheduled to return to court on October 16. He was charged in relation to the November 4, 2024 off-duty fatal shooting of 25-year-old Andrew Hall in the vicinity of a nightclub on Harbour Street in Falmouth. It is alleged that an altercation between Junior and Hall resulted in the cop discharging his firearm. No firearm was recovered from the deceased during the incident. The murder charges as a result of a completed investigation by the Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM and a ruling by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Westmoreland businessman charged with fraudulent conversion. A Westmoreland business operator has been charged with fraudulent conversion following 2 separate incidents on Westminster Road and Cargill Avenue in Kingston 10 in December and March 2023. He has been identified as 47-year-old Andre Poorman of Amity District, Savannah Lamar. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police are that last December, Poorman allegedly collected over 900,000 Jamaican dollars for a 2012 Toyota Hiace bus valued at $3.5 million from a man and then stopped communicating with him. Since then, Poorman has allegedly failed to return the man's money. In the second incident, which took place between February and March 2023, another man allegedly paid over $1.75 million to Poorman for a 2016 Toyota Hiace bus valued at $3.5 million. Shortly after receiving the money, Poorman allegedly stopped communicating with the complainant and failed to return his money. An investigation was launched and Poorman was later arrested and charged. He is scheduled to appear before the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Thursday, October 3rd. Prime Minister Holness says government will soon roll out program to address domestic violence across the country. The government will soon roll out a program to address domestic violence across the country. Mr. Holness made the revelation while speaking with the head of the St. Mary Police Superintendent Bobette Morgan Simpson. The superintendent indicated that the parish, like several others, has had multiple domestic violence incidents, including several where men are the victims. In response, the Prime Minister noted that his administration is now focused on organized crime, but a strategy will be laid out to target other forms of violence, including domestic.
What you have highlighted is that domestic violence is featuring heavily in the parish. And we have a strategy which we will be rolling out to treat with this national issue of violence in its different forms. So we are now treating with violence in the organized form. This is the organized criminals who use weapons to perpetrate violence, the gangs, and the efforts that the JCF has been making has been significant in eroding gangs. Now we really need to target intimate partner violence, domestic violence, child abuse, and all the other forms of violence that exist. It is time as a society that we speak with one voice against violence. Violence is not the accepted means of resolving conflict. We always have conflict in our society, but there are far more beneficial means of resolving conflicts.
Southwest St. Elizabeth MP Floyd Green calls for flow to increase pace of service restoration. A call is being made for the telecommunications provider Flow to increase the pace at which it restores internet services at several schools in St. Elizabeth. Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Elizabeth Floyd Green made the call during an interview. He explained that those schools damaged during Hurricane Beryl are now fully functional. Issues include those relating to internet connectivity remains. He noted that the final repair works are being carried out at a few schools, but learning activities are not hindered.
Definitely want to see Flow do a better job of speeding up the pace of reconnection for our schools. A number of schools still don't have internet services. A number of our schools still don't have their regular telephone services. And as such, I am calling upon Flow, which is the provider of these services, to accelerate the pace of restoration, especially seeing that electricity is no longer an issue. Outside of that, we continue to monitor and provide support for the schools, continue to work with entities like the NWC, who continue to have some challenges regarding their various pumps, to see how we can help the schools ensure that they have a consistent supply of water. So we continue to monitor the situation as we look to build back from Hurricane Beryl. Fortunately, all our schools across Southwest St. Elizabeth are now fully functional. The last one that required additional time was the Sandybank Primary School. So the second week of regular school, they started with limited entry, but by the third week, they were now up to their full complement of students. So all our schools now have their full complement of students going to school during their regular hours. There is still some work being done at some of the schools just to finish up some of the renovation work that had started, but that is not troubling the normal flow of school. So I'm very happy.
BOJ reduces interest rate to 6.5%. The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, cut interest rates by 25 basis points BPS to 6.50% per annum, in a move the central bank stated on Monday is based on an improvement in the inflation outlook. Annual headline inflation at August 2024, as reported by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, with 6.5% higher than the 5.1% at July 2024. This outturn was in line with the most recent forecast and above the bank's target range for 4.6%. Despite the increase in headline inflation, the measure of core inflation that executed the prices of agricultural food produce and fuel was 4.3% at August 2024, continuing the lowering of underlying inflation since the start of 2024, the BOJ said in a press release. The BOJ added that its project path for inflation over the next 8 quarters is likely to be revised downward. Recent developments suggest that headline inflation will return to the bank's target range earlier than initially forecast. This outlook largely reflects the possibility of a lower than anticipated impact of Hurricane Beryl on agricultural supplies. Additionally, some key drivers of headline inflation continue to moderate in the context of falling international commodity prices. The lagged effect of the bank's monetary policy poised over the past 3 years should also contribute to damming domestic demand and wage pressures. The net flow of new domestic currency loan to the private sector expressed in constant prices for July 2024 also continued to moderate, the central bank noted. Inflation expectations in Jamaica have been a consistent downward path and the exchange rate have been relatively stable, the BOJ noted. In this regard, inflation is expected to settle within the bank's target range over the forecast horizon, with the exception of the next 2 to 3 months. This is, however, an ongoing upside risk to the inflation projected in the context of the current active hurricane season, stated the central bank. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.